Okay. And we are live. And Mike, you will be very proud of me because I've become very, very good at the Zoom sessions that you're seeing.
Yay!
Uh,
Go
only that,
Shika.
my browser keeps loading till Facebook starts, and then yeah, and I have to switch it off. I have to still learn how to not do it in advance. But we have Mike here as one of our cheerleaders. Mike is a very, very good friend. He's helped me. He's coached me in the past with many, many things. I keep saying that I have reached here not alone. It's taken many, many people's hands before I could reach here. And today, talk these big, big things: 100 days, 100 self portraits, 100 moms, 100 interviews, one book. All this has come back. I was very muted for 8 years of my life when I became a mom. And then, I realized that already lost 8 years, time to come back. And it took me, I think, 1 year of stepping back, almost a year, to reach here. But everything was a chain, everything was a clue. The only thing I did was I picked up the clue, I trusted it, I went ahead. And I couldn't see where I was going, but I only trusted my clues. And Mike was also one of my clues. I've had some other coaches. I've had brilliant masterminds being part of courses. I don't know, friends. I don't know what all. And so I am here to honor Mike. One, to introduce to all of you that Mike too is one of our cheerleaders because he's been doing a lot of cheerleading for me, especially when I've lost it on my Zoom sessions. He's come up and said, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And he's like, I've got you. And so Mike's got us mums here. Welcome, Mike. I'm totally, totally, totally thankful to all the support and technically always showing up for me as well and saying, I'm there, don't worry, I'm taking care, make me a co-host. There was a time I couldn't even make a person a co-host. So Mike, welcome. Please introduce yourself. I don't introduce anybody because people who live their stories tell their stories the best. So please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Shika, for having me. First of all, you're showing up so beautifully, and it grow like my heart is growing to see what you become already. The moment we met, it was like a little bit over a year ago, I think, right? Like
Yeah,
we
almost seven,
met
8 months. Yeah, I think it's been 8 months. I think maybe.
8 months. It was 8 months, maybe. It's just like this last year is just so much things is happening every single month, and
Yes.
we went through some couple different projects together.
Right.
I remember, like one beautiful thing that happened is just like when we were starting the refugee center, and you just came there and just saw the pictures, saw the idea behind it, and it just made us want to do it even more. Like these
I'm a
few
big
people,
supporter
like
of that.
you and a couple other people, just seen the project, and it was like a click. Yeah, I think Shika is the person who with the vision. you know
Introduce
so
yourself, Mike. What do you like? What do you do? Tell the world. Let's introduce.
so yeah, I'm pretty much, I call myself right now that I'm an amplifier of other people's message, like in one word, I'm just amplifying other people's message. I'm helping people with the creating the personal brand on social media, and the reason for that is because I was not able to do it for myself at all. So when I started, it was very hard for me to like reach out to people online and connect with people online because I was like never done that before.
Right.
But I did have a mission in my life to be an educator. So for the 15 years, I was teaching in schools and connecting with children and parents, and figuring out how to bring out the best out of them. And then a certain moment of time, like it was 2019, I just couldn't do it anymore through the medium of school, because I felt like I was blocked from like by the visions of all the people that I had to serve. It's like you're trying to do something good for the students, right? Or have your own vision of what life should be like, right? And then you realize, oh, actually you have to serve this organization and listen to that person and that person and that person, and everybody has a different vision, right? And so you're ending up between the rock and the hard place every single time, and you're hitting head in a wall. And I just like had enough of that. I'd burned out a little bit. And in 2019, I left the school and started to look for something that will let me just empower other people to just find themselves, right? So I joined the self-education business, right? When I realized that something like this exists, right? And then we have this online world, and it's just so amazing because you can connect with the whole world right now, right? So you don't have to limit yourself to this little place where you're at. You just reach out to these people, and everybody just have something amazing to share, just like you, right? Like connected with India, and I was in Malaysia, and it's like, yeah, okay, I can help her too and help somebody else. And so I'm a very impulsive person, right? So I do things like I have an idea for something, and if it makes sense, I just go for it, even though I don't know how to do it yet, right? so that was the story. Like I was learning on the go, figuring out how the knowledge business works and how social media works, and then passing it on to everybody else who was also on the same journey. It turns out that there was a lot of people who was just like me, and they needed these extra tips and information how to make it easier and better without consuming you, right? And all the time that you have for some other stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just keep on learning about the effective communication online, right? And figuring out how we can resonate or relate to other people's stories, right? And in my particular case, how to make that story visible, right? You're talking about making it visible through pictures, and I want to make it visible through the words, through stories, sharing it in a very powerful way that will resonate with other people.
And I like the fact that you're calling yourself the amplifier of people's dream. I totally support that statement because I see that you do that very often. I see that and the good part is that people who believed in this online world, Mike, can still see each other in spite of being in different countries. They can still understand and feel what a person is going through, what's happening, because people who show up with honesty and authenticity, I think even the screens cannot stop the energy to pass through it, and it's happening to many people. And I myself, this whole project coming together from across the world with people and women, I thought like I don't know how I will find them, and I found them. So amplify people's dream, definitely I think that should be your title anyway, below not done supporter or whatever you write. I think that's a beautiful line, very poetic. And of course you're here to do some cheerleading for mums, and you and Nadia in a beautiful project where you were already helping mums, and that's why you also had to be one of my cheerleaders, because you were helping a refugee center with mothers, their struggles. You understood what the struggles were. You were trying to support them in their refugee center. Right now Nadia is there, Terry is here as well. It's early for Terry. I knew that I was doing this 2 hours early. Usually I do it at 6. Then we find all the international people up because it's too early, 4 o'clock for them. But today I had something else at 6, so we are doing it for Terry. Thank you for joining. Nadia, thank you for joining. So, we've just discussed the pulse, Mike, about the whole self-image and the struggle of a mother to show up, even for her basic. Like in refugee, it is not an option that she has to show up. It's the basic, for the basic also that mother has to show up to provide the basic stuff to the children, the basic education, the basic. And if they're in a situation like in the refugee camp you had, so much has to be kept away from herself, about herself, to just make the means meet on the daily basis with children. So what was a common thread that you found in the refugee center amongst moms? Not about how to raise children, how to find money, how to get this, but about their self-image. What is it that they felt? What's your pulse? And it's interesting to get men in here, because I've been talking to a lot of women, because men will also add their perspective, and it's very important. What do you think was the pulse of refugee center women that you were
That's a very interesting question, because they're actually in a very specific point in life. You can imagine that becoming a mom in general, it's sort of like you have to sacrifice something, right, in order to be mom for your children, right? In a way, like men can't, right? Because especially at this very beginning, right? So I feel like only that part for any mom, like whatever the situation, the financial situation or other life situation, it's already like, okay, they already feel like they had to like zoom in on this. And then even you said at the beginning, like I was out for 8 years, right? And then I had to go back, right? And I feel like these moms, the refugee moms, right, that they not only sacrifice in a sense of, okay, I have to be there for my child, but also they realize they have to sort of like leave everything else. And in many cases, it's actually because they're thinking about their child in the future, right? So they find themselves in this situation when they're in the country where they have no rights, really. They can't do much, right? They have to depend on everybody else goodwill, right? And they're sitting with these children at home, figuring out, okay, what else can I do? Like, how else can I be helpful to my child, to my partner, to anybody else around me, right? So these moms are in a very specific situation, because not only they have so much to give, but they're blocked from all these different circumstances, right? Most of, like, some of them, not most, like some of them have partners who sort of come here and their main thing is like, okay, I'm the breadwinner, I have to go out and do, like, get some money or do something, bring some stuff to home, right? Whereas mom is just staying at home and taking care of the child, because they have no schools, no places to send the children to, right? I actually like the idea that we were talking about just before hopping on live, that you talked about Krupa, right? And the other mom, that you sort of like clicked together and you're raising your children as a village and together. And I think in a refugee camp works the same way. Like, moms are helping each other out. Like, okay, I will go out and do something today. You take care of the children. Then you can do the same thing tomorrow, and so on, so on, so on. So they sort of like come up with all these different ideas. How can they still be a little bit more, right? And be more valuable to their own family and, you know, people around them, right? And so we discovered that, like, we didn't even know that we're going to be doing these things, right, with the refugee camp. All we wanted to do is sort of like open a little business. It was Nadia, my partner, she wanted to open a little bit business, and we said we had contact with the refugee camp. So we figured, well, why don't we just give them something to do, right? It's going to be helping them and helping us at the same time. It's nice, right? And we just realized that the center was closed because of the COVID, right? So nothing was there. They couldn't even meet in one place because it was illegal for them, right, as refugees. So they were sort of like separated. And we figured, okay, so if we give them a place where they can actually at least come together, then, you know, some cool stuff will happen, right? And maybe we can come up with all different ways how we can help each other out, right? So that was the first idea. And we're, like I said, very impulsive over here. Okay, let's just do it. We'll see what's going to happen. And then we ended up actually moving into that center, because we saw we had to support the center with our own money. So we said, okay, we don't earn anything from this business yet. We can't support the apartment and the center at the same time, but we can live in the center. So, okay, let go of the apartment, move into the center, and then we have like a one floor for us and the second floor for the moms and for the kids, right? And it was working for quite some time until COVID hit again, right? So, but the moms were amazing. Like, you can see, even the pastor who was running the center before us, he was saying like, oh, I haven't seen such a thing before. Like, they had different projects, and United Nations were supporting them, and so on and so on. And some coaches were coming and teaching them something, but they were like not that into it. But here you came, and it's sort of like you gave them this hope that people actually need them. You know, that it's not just like a work that you can give them, but it's that they are valuable to somebody, right? And that was the
And that's
concept.
why that I think now Jenny's here as well. She's another big supporter, cheering me up all the time, coming up in the thing in my chats. So Jerry, I know it's very early for you, but thanks for Jenny being there and saying hello to us. You know why it worked, Mike? Why is it showing that this project is so special? And from my point of view, I think all the mothers, any mother, whether she's in a refugee camp or she is, some really from a very affluent family, all she needs is that's just a little bit of support, saying that you're fine, you're okay, you'll get through this. And I think you and Nadia brought that energy for these mothers, that it doesn't matter how much money is poured in anything. If the energy is not there, it'll not work. My project is going on, I don't know what energy. There's no money being poured in. There's no upsells happening. There is no other things happening. And you know me, like you've been telling me as a coach, come on Shikha, put yourself there, get yourself there. Next, you should start earning money. I wanted to do a self-portrait movement, just like you wanted to do in a refugee thing, do a business. I was like, fine, I'll teach self-portrait. But when I saw the pulse, which is so painful, it was very difficult to turn my back and say, no, first let me earn money and then do it. I'm like, I'll do this and we'll see when the money comes. And even for this project, Mike, I am not taking any sponsors. I refuse to take sponsors because I will not even let the sponsors dictate what this project, who should be in, who should be out, where should the logo be, where should the logo not be. I'm going to make sure that this book is on a pre-sale, it happens, and we get the money to print this book and get it to the mothers who really need upliftment. And whichever mothers we can help through this project will be helped. I don't know what all this project will bring. Till now, only blessings and only a lot of love has come into this project. And that's why what I feel it in your refugee camp, the love was there, the energy was there, the intention was there, and that is what matters. That is what is missing. And especially, I think everybody needs it, but a mom needs that reassurance even more. She needs it even more, that it's okay, we're there, you'll be getting through this, you're not going to be lost, you're not going to stay there forever, there's a plan, just keep going. So that's why for me, my heart went to these. You showed me pictures, and I was looking at the pictures of these refugees' mom holding, their children behind, and doing the stitching and learning from Nadia the stitching, etc. Those pictures are very clear in my head. And to do that, on a like so many mothers do that, they just tie their children up and they go for work, right? There is no option of leaving the child behind, unlike fathers. Even if they are breadwinners, they've tied up their children and they're going for work and they're going to learn, they're going to show up. Even if they're trying to show up for their own dreams, they will still tie the child up or they will put the child somewhere. The child-centric thing is such an important thing to a mother. But in this whole thing, the mother has got lost over the period of years, Like she is feeling lost. Even if she's a career woman, even if she's a top career, she's lost herself. Because she is just moving, like I was talking yesterday to Anu about she being in the career here and then she dealing with being a mom. And every day she rises because she finds success and every day she falls because she finds herself in a guilt. So that every day rising, every day falling, even for a corporate mom is so much to deal with. Because you rise, you fall, you rise. Unlike there's some beautiful fathers as well who rise and fall, and we are very lucky that we are now being supported by men understanding this. But for generations, this juggling is being dealt by mothers and passed on to mothers, and the ripple effect on children and the bad image. So this book, I hope, can bring that light, at least start that light to heal that part of a mother, saying it's okay, what you're doing is there. Look at these 100 shades of moms. If these 100 moms can do it, like for me, even Nadia supporting mothers, having a heart of a mother supporting mother, that picture of her, teaching with these mothers hanging around, that's an inspirational picture because somebody sees that in the book and then they see who's Nadia, what is she doing as a mom, in spite of that, she's helped moms. That brings some hope. I can't earn money, but I can help some others. That's the story. So that's the book about, that when you unfold the story, it's not about putting your face shots there. This is Shikha Khanna, this is Terry, this is Nadia, this is Devi. It's about what they do as mothers and showing up every single day and making impact. And that's the stories that's going to unfold. And I've discovered Devi recently. Her story is, I've discovered cows around her. I just love that story. I don't know how much Debbie is going to put the cows, but she has stories of cows and her farm and her grandchild hanging around her and doing many, many things. Okay, one second. There's some sound coming. 1 second. To stop this. Sorry, my children. I just have to sometimes say,
that's the life of the mother.
Yes. So I just have to get up and say, stop it, because I keep thinking it'll stop and then I can't speak because I lose my thing. But what I'm saying is that, like everybody thinks probably Debbie is sitting there and chatting and showing up everywhere. But she's taking care of cows and she's taking care of her grandchildren and she's taking care of a lot of things, but still decides to show up. So there are many stories like that that will get unfolded in this book. And that's why, like, when you see that on as a father, as a man on the other side, when you see these women actually start showing up, what is that one feeling that comes into your mind, Mike? Like, what is it that you feel when you're seeing, okay, Rashika is bringing another mother, another mother, another mother? Like, what's that one thing that comes? Do you think moms are going to show up, or they're going to withdraw, or what's happening? Why are they all showing up? What's the first chatter that comes when people see this happening?
This is a great question, because we actually had a lot of discussions with my Nadia about this, like showing up and doing the thing, no matter where you at your life. And I know that the feeling that I have is that these mothers, in most cases, they sort of like feel that they have to choose, that they're either this or this. They're either a mom or something else. Either I show up here or I'm there for my child. And it's hard, and always, no matter what they choose, right? They sort of feel like I was not there on this with this other thing, right? If I chose to do this, that I was not there for my child. If I was there for my child, I didn't do this, right? And I started with my Nadia. We just have these conversations all the time, like we can't be everything, right? Nevertheless, we can choose that whatever we decided was the best thing, not just for me, but actually for my child as well, right? And Nadia is great at this point, because she's actually speaking to not just moms, but women in general, talking about that, the best thing that you can do for your child and for everybody else is be the best you that you can be, right? Be the best version of yourself. It's sort of this concept of putting the mask on you first before helping your child, right? And I can resonate with that completely, because I'm not a mom, but I was a father who was doing the opposite. I was sort of like trying to put the mask on everybody else first, and that depleted me after a while. Like I was sort of lost in this whole thing, and I just was able to offer less and less and less. So that means I was not really serving my children or anybody around me to the best possibilities that I could, right? And I feel like moms needs to feel that, that they come first, right? Because if your glass is full, then everybody else around you will get the best out of you.
Right. It's a tough one. I feel like the more I'm immersing in myself in this project, and before I became a mom, let me tell you this, I was a big guru about how moms should be. Because I entered in my photography space. I showed them that gorgeous they are. They came back and hugged me saying, we look beautiful in our pictures. And I said, see, you're beautiful. But when I became a mom, my God, I found myself in that space, and it was so tough for myself to put myself there, because you're just not the same. And this, like, as far, like I've had a very, like I'm crazy about my father. I have a father who I'm totally in love with, but he's still not, he can be everything to me, but he can still not understand a pulse of a mother, because what mother goes through in her body, whatever changes that happen, what she has to embrace. It's very easy to say put your mask on. It's so difficult to do. As basic as take care of yourself, everyday thing. Like you will be going somewhere to do something, and there would be something even more important to finish first, and you'll say let that be. Then you'll go move out somewhere else, and there'll be something more important to do, and you'll say let that be. And recently a mother recently told me that, because I really look up to her, said, how did you do this? Like you become a taekwondo. She was in an interview with me, and she's like, I look up to her because she's done she's second belt, black belt, second time or whatever, and she does marathons, and she does these things, and her children do amazing. And I'm like, how do you do that? And she's like, it's just one fine day I decided that I have to put myself somewhere there on the list of every day. Like everyday list, father gone to office, father's had breakfast, mother's gone, like children are done, they've done their homework, this thing, and mother has taken care of herself, she's had a daily routine, she's exercised. That tick mark of putting yourself somewhere there is not there for mothers. They don't do that. They don't make it very clear when they become mothers that let's put ourselves somewhere there on the list of everyday list, checklist that's happening in each household. That check.
I would even say not somewhere, but somewhere high.
That is too much. Like you're asking too much. Like maybe my project brings that to mothers and say put yourself right on the top. But mothers can't even put themselves somewhere there. And then this mother said, I decided to put myself somewhere there. So now my children are 8 and 10. I tell them, all right, bring me my tea first before I go and make your breakfast. So they go and they put a hot cup of tea, put it on her bed. She has it. She has conversations with them, and then she gets up. Rather than, oh my God, it's morning. Let me get up. Oh my, just like you're 8 and 10. You get up out of your bed. Give me my tea. And she's like, I'm just doing it so that they know that even my mom needs to operate the whole day, and I want to put myself. So I put myself somewhere there in my children's lives as well. And I like that. And I was just like, my God, even that is so difficult for a mother. Forget about outside. Forget about showing up on social media. Forget about fulfilling your dreams and making big impact. Even for asking yourself to put yourself somewhere there in a daily list, that where's my tick mark? What did I do today? Like, did anybody tick mark that, oh, Shikha has done her exercise or she's done this? Okay, we are complete for the day. Let's move on. No, it doesn't happen. And I found this worldwide. And that's why when you're talking about the mask, I mean,
right.
Like, people have not taken up the mask.
Definitely. Like when you're talking about this, like I have this concept because, like I said, I was a teacher for 15 years, so I had a chance to speak to many moms. I was teaching in the kindergarten for most of the days of the years. So there was a lot of moms who are just like that, just like you described, right? Like there's so many different things. And then at the end of the day, these moms are just constantly tired and constantly thinking that there's still not enough, and then there is no more time to do more, right? I feel like at the end of the day, like especially with the little children, but I think it comes across the age later on as well. But there is this saying, right, that people say that children are learning by observing what you do and not what you tell them, right? So there are these parents, right, not just moms, but parents in general, like talking about being healthy, talking about loving yourself, talking about being courageous, being out there, being social, doing this, doing that, like all these amazing things, right? But then the child is looking at the mom not having time to meet friends, not having time to take care of herself, not having time to eat healthy, not having time to exercise, not having time for anything, right? So that's how the child is actually learning, not because the mom is saying, oh, do this and this and this and this, but okay, what do you do, right? What do you do for yourself, right? How do you treat yourself? I want to see that, and I'm going to copy that, right? And so when you think about it, it's just like it becomes very logic, right? That you need to show your children and everybody around you that you matter, right? That you take care of yourself, that you are a role model, really, right? And then the child will learn by observing that.
Yeah, and the only thing that I think we all forget, Mike, also most mothers, we put so much pressure on ourselves, like even if you were coaching me on this, Ashika, you should, they are copying you. We've heard it like again and again. We hear kids follow you, they copy you. But we've also forgotten that we were also a child, and we learned so much from our parents. So the way we're showing up as a parent today is also the parenting we've learned from our parents, right? And maybe from non-gadget we've become a gadget parent today, but we've learned exactly what our parents have shown and have taught us knowingly or unknowingly, right? So I think that's another thing we need to dawn as mothers. We don't have to solve when we become a mother what we are doing today, but we have to solve the inner child inside of us which was being raised at that time. And I always like now become more verbal about it in my interviews, and I say this poem again and again because my mom left at the age of 6 and she was not there. One fine day she was told to leave. You're not worthy, you're violent, you're schizophrenic, go away. And this poem which said, which I heard, I was heading a poetry movement, it was, and because you work with children, you will really resonate with this. And it said, Terror of a Child. It's a 3-line poem which said, a terror of a child is to call out in the dark and say, Ma, where are you? And only receive silence in reply. Ma, where are you? And only receive silence in reply. So for me, when my kids call me Ma, I run. Even if there's no daily routine, because I have only received silence. Now I'm being that child who was raised without. So now I want to be this super mom who now my kids are not used to if they call me mom. Like I just told him 100 times, don't come inside the live, because they're not listening to me, because Ma has just run since the time he's born at every Ma because of her insecurities. So a mother is not only living a new life when she gives and delivers, she's also becoming that child who's living that life, and then the whole confusion and becoming a mother, being a child, all that just dawns on her when she's raising these little ones, and then she's totally lost. And that is the support that we're trying to get through this book. It's okay. Like you as a girl is okay. That girl is safe. You're safe. Your children are safe. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's support each other. Let's hold hands. Let's make this painful pulse. I can't heal it. It's so intense. And the more I'm getting into it, it's so intense. It's so wide and it's so across the world. I don't think so. I can, like, this book can heal it, but it can start the process. And I have a feeling that the day moms can solve this and they shine, nobody's there to stop this Mother Earth to go back to that energy of life. Everything is crumbling because the mother is crumbling. How can a mother energy be alive? How can this world, this planet survive if the mother energy is so much in pain? And that's what I feel. I totally feel that. And why I'm bringing men, it is because I'm raised by a beautiful man who was more like a mother, who's total feminine energy, and more men need to know this. And I was recently told, Mike, that I have girls, I better teach them good self-image after this project. I said, I have boys, they better learn how to raise these women like around them, whether it's their mother, their friend, their wife, their sisters tomorrow. That to tell them it's okay. That's the book my mom did. I hope you feel better after that. So that's the whole project, Mike. And I want you to be a cheerleader for this. And you already are doing it through the refugee camp. Be with Nadia. I've seen Nadia bloom as well. You're an amplifier of people's, like, people you teach, people you coach, but you've also amplified. I've seen Nadia also bloom because from this, like, she's into a superpower right now. And it's absolutely, absolutely with all the support you've been giving. And you have usually a lot of women as your students, as people who come in touch with you as clients. And all of them have the same thing to say, that you're a total nurturer. And that's why it's an honor to have you as a cheerleader on this thing. We have a lot of people who've woken up. And I'm glad actually some people from Australia cannot catch us up because I'm at 6 o'clock. But because of 4 o'clock, I know there's a new time that people from Australia can also catch up. So Mike, what would you like to tell mothers as a cheerleader, cheerleading them for this project? What is that one thing? Because we are 30 days down. We have 70 more days to go before I have to say, here's the book with 100 moms in a Zoom session. What do you want to tell these moms as a
Well,
cheerleader?
first of all, Shika, once again, this is such an incredible project. I tell you, 100, like one mom is one story of one mom can be powerful, but story of 100 moms, this is like a next level game over here. And I had a chance to listen to some of these stories already. Like I know that you have a lot of amazing people. I've heard Melanie, right, and Debbie, and I've heard Terry and the Krupa the other day. It was so amazing, you know, Maya's stories. So all these women that already spoke and will be speaking, I think it's just going to be such a powerful thing for all the other moms, you know, like, hey, you know, we're all moms and we all have these difficulties and we are still showing up, you know, like if not this way, the other way. There's just not one way to be a perfect mom, you know. And like, so if I have to say like one thing to these moms is just like, first of all, give yourself some grace, you know, for like wherever you're at the moment. You're doing something beautiful, you know, like becoming a mom. It's like this moment in time is already a beautiful moment in time, and you get to grow into this because there is no professional parent, somebody said, right? and so when you become a mom, you have to learn on the go, right? So it's just like it's going to be a never ending improvement over here and a never ending progress. And I guess the most important thing is to feel that you're enough, right? No matter what you do, really, you are enough because you're still here and you're still growing.
Right.
Okay. And I just can't wait to hear all these other stories. I know I told you that I have some other amazing moms that I know, right? That will be definitely worth interviewing because their stories were amazing. And it doesn't, the amazing story doesn't mean that everything went perfect, by the way. Quite contrary.
Yeah.
Like things are going down and are not remotely like what we would want. But then we learn from that, and then we're becoming better, and it's all about this progress of becoming better every day.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the ultimate thing that we should think about, like how can I be better than I was yesterday and not where I am, you know, or not where I want to be in general.
Or I assume I will end up with all the chatter that happens onto our head. Like, you know, even that assumption's scary, you know, that I'll not be able to do it, it'll never happen. So thanks, Mike, for this beautiful lines that you just said. But before I wrap up, I also want to tell everybody, people have suddenly started to totally enjoy the interview part. But I keep telling them this is just the introduction. The real thing is the book. I'm waiting for everybody to make history with that book and become a historical page. Because I'm also telling moms that when you write your story in a private diary, it's yours. When you publish it in a book, you've let it go like a pigeon and say, go and tell the world about it. I'm off this story. It's not mine anymore. It belongs to the world. So the book is the main thing. I need all the support and cheerleading for the book because that's the tough part which mothers are going to do. They are going to do a self-portrait. They are going to do a portrait where they're going to see themselves, that camera and them are the only ones that are going to be there, and not a third person behind the camera saying, just move a little, just fix your hair. I think something is wrong. I think you could have looked better if you would have worn this. It's just the camera and her, and she's going to tell her story through that. It's a tough one because a lot of them are not photographers. A lot of them don't have the technical knowledge. I'm there to help them. But more than that, I'm just seeing slowly coming alive. Terry is here. I saw a picture of Terry falling off a log because she's putting a timer, and then she's like she almost fell off because she was jumping in the air to get a picture, and she almost, like, there's a picture of almost falling, and I'm like, my father, I hope these people are not going to sue you for breaking their legs, etc., for doing this picture. So I'm seeing the spirit coming. I'm seeing that these mothers really believe that their story should be there, and whatever it takes for them to put their story in there, they will go to those limits to make this story possible. The only impossible task we're trying to do is to do it in the next 70 days, but I think we'll reach there.
You can do that. You can do that.
Doing it, and I have 5 pillars supporting it, and I want to take their names. I always keep telling them as many times I remember. We have Debbie supporting. So each pillar have taken 20 moms just to keep reminding them, send your story, send your picture, send your story, send your picture, send your story. That's what they're doing, you know. So we have Melanie supporting us with 20 moms.
Amazing people.
Debbie supporting us. We're going to be having Kavita supporting us, Kirtana supporting us. Am I forgetting one name? Francis supporting us. Francis is here in the chat. Thank you, Mike, she's saying. Francis also here in the chat. So Terry is saying, my old but still has balance, no worries, Shikha. So she's like, she still can balance herself even if she's growing old. I don't think so. You're old, Terry. I don't know why you feel that. You're the most shining person in the audience anyway. So thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah, she is. Like, she's a
Terry got the moves. I know that one.
Yes.
But so, awesome. Congratulations for the commitment, Terry.
And we'll see you around cheering us up in the comments, Mike. And we might see you as well on the ones like, and why I'm saying might is because I keep getting these jitters. Oh my God, 70 days. Will I be able to do it? Will I do the digital? Because it's just a digital unveiling. And then we'll take on to the physical book going everywhere. But the digital unveiling will happen in 100 days. With 100
Amazing. Days. Well, I would love to be an amplifier for every single one of those stories, and I'll do my best to spread the news. So yeah, one more time, guys, you're doing an amazing thing, not just for others, but it's just also a gift for yourself. I think what Shika just mentioned over here about the self-image, this is like a never-ending story of the improvement, right? And getting rid of these limiting beliefs. And doing this with the help of Shika, I think it's just going to be such an amazing vision board for you, you know, like having this book in front of you. I can imagine these moms, you know, like you are on this book. This is your powerful version of you. Look at it every single day and be better every day.
And inspire
amazing. I love it.
Inspire many moms who sits in the dark in the night and says, my God, one more day gone. How will I get up in the morning? And she looks at it and says, these moms did it. I will do it as well. And she sleeps and she wakes up again with a fresh feeling. So she'll hold this book as her friend, as her village. And these moms also, Mike, are going to take a pledge on that day that if a mom reaches us, we're not going to say no. We will at least give some supporting hand to a mother if she reaches out, because all of their emails are going to be there so that a mom can reach them and just say that, how did you do it? And they can just tell them a story or pass them the book or help them with something. So I will go off live stream, Mike. There's so many comments, my God, I'm amazed.
I'm waiting for the book. Can't wait for the book. It's going to be one in my collection, that's for sure.
We'll be there with these 100 moms on that book. All the cheerleaders are going to be there with these 100 moms doing it together, unveiling this book. And you'll be proud of me that I will have all the 100 moms without having any Zoom issues. So you'll see. You'll have no issues. Take care.
You're the girl, Shika. You're the girl.
Thank you so much. I'm just stay back. I'm just going off live. Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care, everybody.